All right, guys. So it's like 9 o'clock at night, all right? And I'm really sad that I won't be here at school today to go over this study guide with you. So I've included a copy of our study guide, right? Completed, make it nice and easy for you. But I'm also going to explain it in case you need that as well. Then you can go and you can study to your heart's content and be ready for the quiz on Thursday. And also the test next Wednesday. So this is good. This is good. So starting back here, right? What was the purpose of the AOC, of the Articles of Confederation? The purpose that we want to focus on is it sets up the first government of the United States. Simple. Remember, Declaration of Independence did not set up a government. All it did was declare our independence and list our complaints and have nice, pretty words. Okay? But no, the AOC, the only thing, right, that we really want to kind of focus on right now is that it sets up the first government of the United States of America. That is key. You know that? You're good to go. Why were the Articles of Confederation created? To have a weak central government. You know this. The king, right? Think about the king, King of England, the guy that we rebelled against, we had the Declaration of Independence against. Why did we not like him? Because he abused his power. So, why were the Articles of Confederation created? To have a weak central government? They were created because we were afraid of being abused. Remember, we just got out of this bad relationship with the king. Do we want a new government that has abuse of power? Heck to the no. We don't want that at all. So we're going to have the AOC. We're going to purposefully make it weak so that it cannot abuse its power. So let's look here. Let's look at the strengths of the AOC. Strengths of the AOC. There's really two that we want to focus on. Number one, it unifies the country during the Revolutionary War. Right? Keeps us together. Huzzah! We're happy. Right? We make it through the American Revolution. It's good. Then also, right, the one thing that it's really kind of good at, it helps distribute. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but new land. All right, sets up territories, all that kind of stuff. Super, don't focus too much on this. Don't focus too much on this. But, oh no! Ah! Ah! All right, I think we're back. I think I have created a better system here. Weaknesses of the AOC. This is the one that we have a lot of different things that we can write on. Hopefully you've got your notes and you've been able to look at this. Molly, come here. My dog is here. I brought her with me. I didn't want to be lonely while everybody's at home. And so she's making noise. Hello, Molly. What are you doing, dog? Are you just happy to be here? You see her? Hopefully you can see her. If not, it just looks silly. All right, she's learning with us. Excellent. Weaknesses of the AOC. Well, first off, we know that the entire dadgum thing is weak. Okay, the entire thing is weak. No national military. No national military. All right, that's a weakness. States coin or create money. Also bad. States regulate trade. My dog just yawned at me. This is not boring, Molly. This is good stuff. All right. States regulate trade, so that's not good. That's a bad thing. What are some other weaknesses that we've talked about? Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. No taxation for national government. right? So the national government cannot tax people, therefore it has no money to do its job. Everybody hates paying taxes, but taxes are necessary, right? So those are some major weaknesses of the AOC. Let's make sure that we remember those. Excellent. All right, here we are again. And guys, I realize that there is this glare on the screen. Hopefully there's not a glare off my forehead, whatever, right? We'll take care of it. We'll get you squared away. Why did Washington and other leaders call for the convention in Philadelphia in 1787 to amend the AOC? All right, we looked at it, we're like, this thing stinks. It's not as good as we thought it was going to be. Let's do better. Let's make some changes. We know that the word amend means change and add, right? So change something, add to it. They say we're going to change or add to the AOC. They get there, they're like, this thing is horrible. We did just a whole new government, okay? That's what we did. What benefits did the Constitution provide that the AOC did not, okay? Strong national government. Strong national government, that's a big one, okay? Military protection. Checks and balances. Separation of powers. National tax, whether that's a benefit or not. Who were Georgia's signers of the U.S. Constitution? We had two, right? Baldwin and Few were the two. Baldwin, Abraham Baldwin. And William Few. They were the two. Abraham Baldwin, he's the guy that was the Great Compromise dude. Okay, which leads us to number 6. Which Georgia signer considered his work at the Constitutional Convention to be his greatest public service? Abraham Baldwin. All right, old Abraham Baldwin. He's also the guy who's going to create the University of Georgia. Huzzah, good for him. What issue at the 1787 Constitutional Convention was settled by the Great Compromise? That's going to deal with representation. Representation. Number 8, how did the Great Compromise combine both the Virginia Plan and New Jersey Plan to settle this issue? Remember, it's going to be bicameral, bi meaning two, like a bicycle. Bicameral Congress. The House, based on population. And the Senate, based on equal. Y'all are gonna love that. That's just a bunch of squiggles. Representation. Remember, Virginia plan, it's the House. It's based on population. The bigger states like it. It gives them more representation. Representation is power. Then we have the New Jersey plan. New Jersey plan, favored by the small states with a smaller population. It's going to ensure that they have the same number of representatives, senators, in the Senate, which is going to keep them feeling safe and happy and secure. All that good stuff. That's good. It's good stuff. Number 1, I just heard some scary sounds. I don't know what it is. Hopefully I'm here by myself. We'll find out, won't we? Number 9, though. What does the Constitution do? It sets up a government. Don't forget, Georgia also has a constitution. All right? Georgia has a state constitution for the state of Georgia, and then Georgia has the federal constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. That means it's the top law of the land. There's no other laws that can supersede it or be higher than it. So, Constitution sets up a government. Easy way to remember it. Simple stuff. The AOC called for a unicameral. And we all know uni, like a unicorn, means one. Cameral means chamber or house, right? So, one legislative branch. We're like, that's not going to work, right? When one branch has all the power, they're going to abuse it. It's going to happen. Well, the U.S. Constitution called for a bicameral. Excellent. Bicameral legislative branch. Unicameral, no bueno. Bicameral, hey, the Senate and the House, they can kind of work off of each other a little bit. Okay. What are the three branches, or what are the branches of federal and state government and their responsibilities? Oh my goodness, I did not leave myself enough room to write here. Hopefully, though, with your tiny pencils and so on and so forth, you have stuff. The nice thing is, federal and state, they mirror each other. They both are going to have a legislative, right? And they make the laws. Simple. Congress, General Assembly, same thing, both the legislative branches. They're going to make laws. The executive, what do? They enforce the laws. They make sure they get carried out. Both begin with an E. That's going to help me remember it. I don't know about you. You do you. And then finally, judicial. And they interpret laws. They're going to tell us what they mean, how they should be carried out, so on and so forth. All right? Legislative, executive, judicial. Legislative makes them, executive enforces, judicial interprets them. Ratify. There's a word. There's a fun word. Ratify means to approve something. And really, if we want to be super fancy, right, know everything that we're talking about, it means to formally or officially approve something, right? So my wife sends me a text of like, what would you like for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. She says, how about spaghetti? And I'm like, sounds good. That would be kind of a ratifying of what we're having for dinner. We ratify treaties, we ratify government documents, that kind of stuff. Why did Georgia ratify it, right? We already know that ratify means to approve it. So why did Georgia approve the Constitution? It gave us protection. Don't forget, we still have the natives to the west, right? They don't want us taking their land, so they're going to fight us if we come out there. We have the Spanish to the south. The Spanish would love to get Georgia land, right? We are seeking some kind of protection because even though we have rebelled against our mother colony, we are still looking for somebody to take care of us. Interesting. Let's scoot on down. Principle, separation of powers, checks and balances. Super complicated, but we're going to try and make it simple for you because, we're trying to make it easy. Okay, so separation of powers. Don't forget, we got this this government cake over here that I started to draw, and we're going to divide it into threes. All right, the legislative is going to have a job, the executive has a job, and the judicial has a job. We talked about those powers a little bit further up. But we got all the power in the government. We're going to separate it between the three branches so that one branch does not have all the power. All right, I don't know of a simpler way to explain it. Checks and balances. All right, we talked through all those examples of ways that they can check each other's power or balance or limit. So checks and balances, each branch can limit the power of others. All right, so Mr. President, you want to appoint a justice to the Supreme Court, has to go through the Senate, the legislative branch. Legislative branch, you want to make a law, it has to be approved by the president. If the president doesn't approve it, you can still check his power. You can limit his power Judicial review from the court system that can declare things unconstitutional, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to separation of powers, let's go ahead and throw a definition up here. Each branch has a job. Power is divided. Now, again, that's just one of those things that students have trouble with every year. I hate it for you, but you just got to sit there and kind of figure it out. Okay. Let me know if you have questions. What we're going to look at down here, right? You got these handy dandy boxes. You can also, spoiler alert, you can put next to it, which is what we're going to do. You can put next to it whether it's A, B, or C. A for Articles of Confederation, B for both, or C for Constitution. That's fancy. Look at this. All states must agree to any amendments. We know that an amendment is a change or addition to a document, right? So this was under the Articles of Confederation. So we're going to slap a big old A next to that one. Under the Articles of Confederation, all states had to agree to any changes. This one, national government cannot collect taxes. We talked about that. That's a huge weakness of the AOC. Contained an executive branch. Well, that's going to be the Constitution. All right. So a C next to that one. Contained a legislative branch. Well, duh, that's both of them. They both are going to contain a legislative branch. Remember, AOC, it was unicameral. Under our Constitution, it's bicameral. Part of the Great Compromise from Abraham Baldwin, life's greatest achievements. I'm going to take this dog collar off because it continues to make noise. Look at that. Now we're done with it. No, you can't have it back. You can't have it back yet. You'll have time. And then which one is going to contain a judicial branch? We know that is our Constitution. So we're going to slap a big old C next to it. This is just our practice, right? Molly the dog has seen Hernando de Soto the head over there, and she's freaking out. We got to figure it out. Could regulate interstate commerce. Well, we know that was a weakness under the AOC. Only states could do it, so this is going to be a C for Constitution. Equal representation in the legislative branch. Ooh, we could go a lot of different ways with this. We're going to stick with AOC on this. Because remember, AOC, each state had one vote. Today, the Senate is equal representation, but the House is not representation. So technically, we do have equal representation in the legislative branch, but we also don't have it because of the House. So we're going AOC over here, Articles of Confederation. No power to create a military. We know that's the AOC. That's a huge weakness. No national military. Supreme law of the land. That's going to be the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. No law above the Constitution, legally speaking. And then courts can handle disputes between states. We know that's also going to be the Constitution. Right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Go back there, look at that kind of stuff. Look at your separation of powers. Looks at your checks and balances. Get it all figured out. And we're back. Last one. Got to try and keep it short. Right? We remember our legislative, executive, and judicial. Legislative makes the laws. Executive, they enforce the laws. And you're like, yeah, Mr. Anderson, I get this. Judicial, they interpret the laws. They interpret the laws. They tell us what they mean and how to carry them out, so on and so forth. So at the national level and the state level, look at this. I already made the roll. Woo! All right, we're just going to put all this information in these boxes over here. Ah! I don't know when my phone fell down. My phone fell down. It's late, y'all. I'm tired. But look, I put all these over here in the roll. We're good to go. We understand it, right? We know what we're doing. It's not our first time. Legislative branch. At the national level, that is called Congress. At the state level, it's called the what? General Assembly. right? General Assembly, GA, Georgia General Assembly. That's what we call a legislative branch. They both make the laws. My handwriting is getting worse. Executive, right? At the national level, that's the president and VP, vice president. And at the state level, that's the governor and lieutenant governor. I cannot remember how to spell lieutenant right now, so I'm just going to put LT because that's the abbreviation for lieutenant. Lieutenant governor. They are the heads of the executive branch for the state of Georgia, and they enforce the laws. In the words of me 10 years ago, holla. Judicial branch at the national, it pains me to simplify it to this, right? But we're going to for right now. Supreme Court. That's the top court. If I were to draw you a picture, Supreme Court's here. There's a group of courts called the appellate courts, and then there's the district courts, and it makes kind of this triangle or mountain, whatever, of courts, with the Supreme at the top. SCOTUS. Supreme Court of the United States. That's cool. There you go. Learn something. Supreme Court, judicial branch for the national government. Hey, guess what? For Georgia, it's the same way, right? Supreme Court. Just the Supreme Court of Georgia. And both of them have the same job, which is to interpret laws. Excellent. There, we got that. This is really simple, I believe. I believe that y'all can figure this out pretty quickly. You just gotta put some effort into it. Number 15, what's a preamble? We know that a preamble, in its simplest terms, is an introduction. Introduction kind of tells us what the document is, what the goal of the document is, and then amendment, we know, we already talked about that up there. Addition or change to a document. There you go. Hopefully, if you have any questions, go back, watch it again, see what you can figure out. If you have any questions after that, I would say watch it again, but just email me. Okay, email me. We'll get it all squared away. We'll get you figured out. Thursday, quiz is going to be fine. Next Wednesday, test is going to be fine. You're going to be, as the kids would say, Gucci. You will not be mid. You will be on fleek. Do kids don't say that one, do they? I don't know what y'all say. But whatever the good thing is, y'all will be that. And whatever the bad thing is, y'all will not be that. Okay? Excellent. I miss you. Be good. Make good choices. So on and so forth, etc. Bye-bye.